Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to my channel. You're probably wondering why there is this photo of an old Nokia 1100 on the thumbnail of my video. Well, if you're curious, make sure to watch the whole video until the end. You'll find out very soon. Okay, let's go. Alright guys, so let me bring your attention to these three dots right here at the top left corner. If you click them, you will be able to turn off your Wi-Fi, turn on airplane mode, and do a bunch of other things like Bluetooth, data connection, and whatnot. But look, I think what interests you the most right now is that first option, which is the Wi-Fi settings. And once you click it, you will see two options available, one for public networks and another one for home networks. This is where it gets interesting because if I click here, I can see the name of my network. Now this is not unusual or groundbreaking or anything, but the reason why I am showing this to you guys is because this device has no operating system. I repeat, this device has absolutely no operating system. This is not a Wi-Fi enabled feature phone running some sort of Linux or Android fork. No, sir. This is a full-on dumb phone that only makes calls, sends SMS, has a web browser, a calendar, a gallery, and that's basically it. So yeah, I am pretty sure you're wondering how the heck am I able to connect this to my Wi-Fi network if it doesn't have an operating system? Well, the answer is quite simple, yet also quite amazing. These new Nokia devices have something called Wi-Fi Autoconfig, or sometimes known as a WLC. Essentially, this is a little chip inside the phone that allows it to automatically connect to any Wi-Fi network without having an actual operating system. All you need to do is hold down the power button until you get to the home screen, press OK, and after a few seconds, boom, you are connected to the internet. Of course, keep in mind that you will only be able to browse the internet very simply. You won't be able to open any app. Basically, this works just like any other web browser, which by the way, I believe is Opera Mini, but you can open any website you want. Now, unfortunately, I didn't really have too much time to show you guys around the web browser or any other app that this phone has, but don't worry. I'm actually working on a full review of this phone. I have a lot of cool stuff to share with you guys. There's a lot of cool tricks that you can do with this phone. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming video. So yes, as you may have guessed, we are taking a look at the brand new Nokia 1100. It is currently the latest addition to the Nokia lineup of feature phones. And unlike the 8210 or the 5710, which are two other recent feature phones released by Nokia, this one actually comes with a display that is capable of displaying up to 16 million colors. In fact, this entire phone looks and feels incredibly good for its price, which by the way is only 69 euros, meaning that here in Brazil it's less than 150 Brazilian reals. I gotta say Nokia did a fantastic job with the design of this phone. Even though it's meant to be simple and basic, they didn't skimp on making it feel cheap or anything like that. On the contrary, it feels premium. It has this kind of rubbery texture on the back cover, which by the way is removable, and inside you can put a single SIM card or a micro SD card in case you want to expand the memory. On the front we have the directional keys, the classic call accept and reject buttons, as well as the center OK key, which brings us to the home screen. Oh, and of course, we have the very handy SOS key on the back cover that lets you quickly dial an emergency number in case you're ever in an emergency situation. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the home screen. Again, we have a 2.8-inch display, which is quite big for a feature phone like this. But as you can see, it's not the sharpest screen in the world, but it's perfectly fine. Now the cool thing about it is that you can change the background image from here. Just press the menu key, go to settings, and then change the wallpaper. And as you can see, there's a handful of wallpapers to choose from. Pretty neat. Now pressing the OK key will take you to the menu where you'll be able to access all the apps that this phone has. Here you can see them all right there. We have the web browser, contacts, messages, gallery, Facebook web snake, FM radio, alarm clock, voice recorder, note, music player, video player, settings, and camera. Yeah, not too many apps. Again, The idea here is simplicity, nothing else. One thing that I should point out is that this phone does come with 128 megabytes of RAM and 64 megabytes of storage, which again is expandable via micros. Now as for the specs, we have a 1.77 GHz single-core CPU and a 1450 mAh battery. Also, I should point out that this is a dual SIM phone. It supports GSM and 4LTE. Now in terms of connectivity, we have a headphone jack on the top, USB port for charging on the bottom, and a flashlight on the back alongside the 1.3 megapixel VGA camera. Now the VGA camera is nothing to write home about, but it's here if you ever need to snap a quick picture. By the way, the maximum resolution is 1200 by 1600 pixels. As for audio, we have loud dual speakers which actually sound pretty decent and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, I know you're probably wondering, hey Tim, you mentioned earlier that this phone has Facebook, but how the hell does it work if it doesn't have any app? Well, that's a great question and the answer is quite simple. There's actually a lightweight version of Facebook that runs inside the web browser. So you can actually log in and use Facebook. Keep in mind that the experience will be very, very basic. You won't be able to post pictures, you won't be able to see videos. It's basically just a scaled-down version of Facebook.com where you can check your notifications and read a few posts. That's about it. Oh, and by the way, the web browser can also run WhatsApp. It's pretty much the same deal as Facebook. However, I must warn you that using any of these apps, including the web browser itself, will drain your battery life much quicker. But since this phone already has a whopping 1450 mAh battery, even if you're constantly browsing Facebook, you will still be able to go on for a few days before needing to charge the phone. Again, that's one of the main selling points of this phone. Its battery life is insane. I could go on and on talking about all the nitty-gritty details of this phone, but the truth is that it is such a simple device that there is not really much to talk about. Again, the whole idea here is simplicity. If you're tired of dealing with all the nonsense that comes with smartphones nowadays, from the constant app updates to the tons of permissions that every app wants to access to the endless scroll feeds and whatnot, this phone might be exactly what you need. It's a breath of fresh air in the mobile phone world. It's a phone that does what it needs to do and does it well. It's simple, it's reliable, it's easy to use, and it lasts forever. What do you guys think about the Nokia 1100? Would you ever consider switching to a feature phone like this? Let us know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.